All right, so we're going to keep going with law of sines. This is our second example on our whisk form for video 5F1. Right now we're going to be doing example 1A, and I'm calling that parentheses B because this one is the same type of problem as 1A, but it's not in your textbook. So we're going to start by drawing our diagram, and this time we've changed our variables a little bit. This is triangle PQR, and the sides that I know are as follows. Angle P is 17 degrees, angle R is 29 degrees, and then the side that is opposite angle R is given as 8, so that's little r, and we're being asked to undo this triangle with some trig and find side P that is missing. So obviously we need to modify a little bit this formula. We're not using A and B anymore, but you notice that we're always using the angle and the side opposite it in these proportions. So I'm just going to start with the sine of angle P then over little p is going to equal the sine of angle R over little r. And that's what I want to use as far as a modified version of my law of sines for the letters for this particular problem. So plugging in what we know, we have sine of 17 over side P, which is our unknown. And that is going to be equal to the sine of 29 degrees over side R, which we know as 8. As always, when it's a proportion, we need to cross multiply, so let's do that. We get 8 times the sine of 17 degrees is going to equal P times the sine of 29 degrees. Now we've undone the proportion there. Now we need to solve for our missing variable. And our variable is P, so we're going to divide both sides of this equation by the sine of 29 degrees. And so now P is alone. And P is going to be 8 times the sine of 17 degrees all over the sine of 29 degrees. And just like before in the last video, notice I've been doing all of this writing down. I haven't touched my calculator yet. At this point is where you would want to start using your calculator, now that I know what sign ratios I'm actually multiplying and dividing by. And my calculator gives me an approximation in 2 easy steps. Again, refer to that screen capture video of the TI calculator steps, please. And it's not for this example, but you would follow the same pattern as you did in the last video. And so my P comes out to be 4.8 in this case. And I can only have confidence in this answer if I've answered the question, does this make sense? So we'll go through that process again. And we'll relate it back to the angles in the diagram. In this case, angle R was greater than angle P. And so that means that side R should be greater than side little p. And if we can plug in the values, we know R is 8, and the P that we just came up with is 4.8. And so the answer to that question is, yes, that works out. And so we can have confidence in our answer that our calculator gave us, which was 4.8. So that's our second example using the law of sines in video 5F1's whisk there to find a missing side once you know 2 sides and an angle, or excuse me, 2 angles and a side. And so in the next example on the back side of your whisk is a third example that I'd like you to try on your own, and we'll check it tomorrow and see how you guys are doing with this, okay? And that's the end.